Waste management is one of the biggest issues facing the world today. Here in Britain, we've come accustomed to year-on-year increases in the amount we're recycling, but it appears that's starting to change.
10 years ago, the mantra, or perhaps 15 years ago, the mantra was reduce consumption, reuse and recycle. You know, that was the triple R, as it were. And that appears to fall off the top of the list of the government's priorities nowadays. We started off very well indeed. In fact, our rate of acceleration in the UK was higher than any other country in Europe. We came from a low base mark of 15%, and we've currently got to the mid-40s. But the really worrying point is that it's levelled off over the last 3 or 4 years.
Portsmouth City Council has one of the lowest recycle rates in the country, and the figures show it's getting lower.
But there's numerous issues why the recycling rate's gone down. Possibly the main one is due to people's lifestyles. So technology changes has had a massive impact in a massive recycling stream, which is paper. Obviously people are buying less newspaper and card because of mobile technology, and that paper makes up the majority of a lot of local authorities' recycling stream. So in Portsmouth, it was at one stage, it was about 70% of everything that we recycle from our curbside collections.
While there may be less paper being recycled in Portsmouth, the same could be said for anywhere in the country. So why is their recycle rate so much lower?
One of the big issues we have is there are regional differences. So someone moving into Portsmouth, we have a highly transient population here. We've got lots of students. And if someone new was to move into Portsmouth, they may think that what they're doing in Portsmouth is identical to what they've done from where they moved from. And that's not always the case, through no fault of the resident at all. So getting those messages to the resident is a challenge for the local authority.
A simple way to boost recycling would be to invest more money. However, it's very difficult when local authorities need to make millions of pounds of savings. Ray Cobbett believes there needs to be a change in priorities.
I think also that unless you provide inspiration, the green message requires constant reinforcement. Politicians who run local authorities set their priorities, and presumably if there was enough pressure on them, they would reconfigure those priorities or configure them in a way which put recycling back on the tops of their agenda. I think that inspiration might come from those people who are actually doing it right, and not only doing it right, but actually setting new records. For example, South Oxfordshire Council, are recycling 66%, of their arisings, as they're called, of their waste stream. 66%. That's 16 points above the EU target, 2020 target, and almost three times the rate that Portsmouth currently recycle. My advice to Portsmouth officers, if they haven't already done so, is if they want to find out how to do it, go to South Oxfordshire District Council.
Richard Ensten for That's Solent.